In this video, we'll start by building the authentication. All the backend logic has been built for us already. We just need to connect the dots. Let's open up index.html. Like I've explained in the previous video, the entry point in our JavaScript after require.js has been loaded is main.js. So we're loading require.js here. When require.js is done loading, we load main.js. So let's open up main.js now. So that's in JS, and at the bottom you can find main.js. So these are all the libraries that's being loaded. Like you can see, we are missing our custom config file, so let's add that. So let's call it config. And let's include the path, and that's libs custom config. So now that we've added our config file to the main.js, let's open up config. So you can find it in JS libs custom config. So most of the logic is already here. It's been implemented for us. We just need to make a few small changes to get things working. So we are returning an object here, but notice that it is missing the doAuth. It's this function and the header auth part. We should also be returning those. So let's add that. Let's call it authorization. And this should correspond to the doAuth function. And let's add the bearer, and this should correspond to the header auth part. That's this function. While we're here, let's fix this. So in here we should add a variable. Let's call it token, and this will get the item from the local storage. So local storage dot get item, and the item we're looking for is called Mira token. And let's return this with a string, and we'll concatenate it bearer and the token itself. Okay. Now that we added the key authorization in our config, we can call that function in our main.js. Let's go back to main.js, but don't forget to save this file first. Now go to main.js, scroll down to the bottom. You'll find a comment called doAuth. So we can say config dot authorization, and like this. Save the file. Let's try and run the application and see what's happening now. So right click on your project, run, and it should open up in here. It's loading. It's still loading. Like you can see, it's not giving me anything. So let's check the console. Okay, now it's working. I think the PC was just stuck, but I am already logged in. So let's try an incognito tab. We'll paste a link in it. And let's navigate to it. Seems like it's taking a while. We're almost there. Let's see. Okay, it's working. So we have the sign in button now. Let's click it. You will be redirected to ORDS. Let's click sign in. We can sign in with the details Elon Musk. Sign in. Still taking its time. Okay, we still can't see the content of the dashboard, but that's because we're missing our routes. The Oracle Jet framework includes support for single-page applications using the OJ router class for virtual navigation in the page. So let's add that. Let's go back to our project. Go back to main.js. Scroll up, and you should see a line router.configure. Inside that function, let's say home. That's our object, home, and we'll say as the label, we'll call it home, and we'll also give the option. Oh, some things are wrong here, like this, and we'll say also is default. That's true. Then we need to add a second key value pair. We'll call this one order, and we'll also add a label for it, label order, and the last one, let's call this one admin, and we'll give this one a label of admin. Now save the page, and let's refresh our page. Okay, so now we have the dummy data on the dashboard. Now let's populate it with a jet component. In your view folder, open up home.html. So let's close custom views, and we have home.html. Now let's navigate to the Oracle Jet cookbook. So we go here, just Google it, Oracle Jet cookbook, and we need to look up a component in the data visualizations. On your left hand side, data visualizations, and we're going for let gog here at the bottom. You can select any component you like, but I will be going for the OJ let gauge. So these are the different components we can select. I will be going for the thresholds. So let's copy the part you want to use and just paste it in your home.html. So I will be going for threshold, so let's look up threshold, and I will be using these three components. Just copy it and paste it in your home.html. Let's fix the indentation first. Okay, so let's remove the min and the max attributes of the OJ component object. So we don't need this. Of course you can customize it to your liking, but I'm not needing the min and the max attributes at the moment. Save the file. So the next part is to remove the titles. I won't be needing those either. So this one can go. This one can go. And this one can go. And to finish it all off, let's add labels to every one of them. Label, close the label. Let's just copy and paste them. Like so. And let's call the first one galaxies. Galaxies. Let's call the second one planets. And the third one orders. So let's give each pair of label and div a surrounding div. So it will be div, and we need to close it up here, div. Don't forget to fix your indentation. And now we need to repeat this step for this pair. Don't forget to fix your indentation again. And the last one, div, div, and again fix the indentation. So save your page and let's refresh and see what's happening now. So we're missing the component and there's something wrong with the styling. The styling is missing a height, so let's add that first. We go back, give each surrounding div a style with a height of, let's say, 75 pixels. Just copy this and you can just paste it. Let's go back and have a look. Okay, it's neat below each other now, but we're still missing the component, the gauge. The reason for this is we're missing something in our view model, and the reason for this is it's the view model is missing something. Let me check. It's the view model, the corresponding view model is home.js. Okay, like you can see, it's quite empty. So what we need to add in here is the part that cookbook is describing for us. So let's go back to the cookbook. That's here, and you scroll down, you can find this function of your view model. Just copy it and go back to your view model and paste it. Fix the indentation first. Change this to self. That's a best practice of Oracle Jet. Now we can change the values in here to whatever you want. Let's say 30, 20, and 10. Let's say I'll give this one a value of 17, and I'll give this one a value of 22. Save the file. Let's refresh our page now. Okay, so it seems it's working. When you hover over it, you should see the values. So we're missing one more thing, and that's the labels of the menu. So let's fix that in one go. So we need to go to main.js. It should be a very quick win. And we are storing our labels in a resource file in here. And we should change that to, we should load that resource file first. So in here, in our config, in our main.js, let's reference that resource file. It's oj translations. I've put it in the folder NLS for Dutch. oj translations. Again, close it, and the value for that is resources NLH, and let's call it bundle. Save. Oh, like this. Let's go to our resources first. NLHS. Like you can see, it's still called Galaxy, but let's change that to bundle. So right click on it, select rename, and rename it to bundle, and do the same for the default one, just rename it to bundle. So save the file, go back to your page and refresh it. So the menu should have the labels now defined. So we have dashboard, orders, admin. So in the next video, we're going to create the admin page and all its subpages.